Dan Selby, the mad king of Formula One. Dan Selby wasn't destined for greatness, or at least that's what he thought while designing chicanes in a drab little office in Oakley, dreaming of a world where Tilke-designed circuits weren't the equivalent of unbuttered toast. Everything changed in the Gambia. Drunk on a lethal mix of local rum and his own misplaced confidence, he was midway through explaining to a confused bartender why Bahrain needed a corkscrew section when Martin Brundle burst into the bar walking backwards, screaming obscenities. "Ah! Bloody hell! They've got me on the arse!" Brundle had fallen victim to an aggressive gang of African bees. Swatting furiously at his rear end, he crashed into a table, sending a man's dinner flying. That man was Jim Rosenthal, who, despite being missing a foot due to a tragic landmine accident, still had the reflexes of a jungle cat when it came to saving his pint. Selby, always one to turn disaster into entertainment, immediately began providing live commentary. Brundle enters the corner too hot. Rear-end instability. He's lost the back end. Rosenthal's in prime position. Jim, how did you see that unfolding? Rosenthal, wiping beer off his shirt, burst out laughing. Brundle, still fighting the bees, joined in. Within hours, the trio was deep into a night of heavy drinking, and by the time the sun rose, Selby had somehow been offered a gig as an F1 commentator, and so began a career that would change motorsport forever. The rise and fall of Selby. Selby's F1 commentary was unlike anything the sport had seen. He ignored corporate scripts, instead likening Verstappen's aggressive moves to a man late for his own wedding. He described Ferrari's strategy team as playing 4D chess with crayons. Fans adored him. But Bernie Ecclestone? Not so much. The two men clashed at a Monaco gala when Selby, several cocktails deep, declared, "Bernie, I could run this sport better than you, and I'm currently wearing mismatched shoes." Bernie scoffed. That was his mistake. With a mix of charm, investor schmoozing, and relentless partying, Selby built a network of powerful allies. A few billion-dollar deals later, Formula One was his. That's when things got weird. Selby's reign of madness. Selby turned F1 into a circus. Literally, he hosted investor trust parties so wild that they made Monaco nightclubs look like a local village fete. No expense was spared. Fireworks, tigers, one time even a live reenactment of Senna's 1993 Donington Park lap performed entirely on jet skis. But his giving racing back to the people initiative was the most insane idea of all. Once a season, he added everyday family cars to the grid, anything from a 1998 Ford Fiesta to a Renault Espace. And that's how Derek Flaps from Doncaster ended up winning the Belgian Grand Prix in a Toyota Hilux. The race was a disaster. The saloon cars caused chaos. The safety car was deployed 8 times before the first lap was even completed. A man in a 2007 Nissan Micra spun out at Eau Rouge and simply got out, walked off, and went for a pint. And yet somehow, Derek Flaps, an unassuming mechanic from Doncaster, survived the carnage and crossed the line first. "I just kept it steady, lad," he said in his post-race interview, still holding a Greggs sausage roll. The Hippo incident and the beginning of the end. Selby's madness peaked in 2036 when he introduced nature mode, a rule allowing wild animals to roam circuits to test driver reflexes. Predictably, it went horribly wrong in Brazil when Daniel Ricciardo, trying to make a daring move on the inside, was tragically eaten by a herd of hippos. The lawsuits came thick and fast. The FIA intervened. Selby fought them in court, arguing that hippos have rights too. The judge disagreed. Forced into retirement, he staged one final spectacle, a farewell parade in Monaco, where he ran naked down the grid, screaming the Swiss national anthem for reasons still unknown. Then, as the sun set, he boarded a helicopter, waving to the crowds below. His final words? "I regret nothing, except maybe the hippos." And with that, the mad king of F1 was gone.